Traditions. Tied at its truth, you try your best to keep it tucked, never touching its true colors. You see, real rainbows have gold in the journey started, not just the pilfered pot in the end. The point here is either that the gold was stolen or used along the way. You see, this is a request that has to be required, a fulfillment that has to be paid in full, and I hope that you see which I prefer, or at least I prefer to presume. But it's that prism that holds my colors in like a prism. The prism that can only be seen in its darkness behind the glass of its reflective moon. I hope to never again have to explain this, but I will this one time. This is a word soup, and damn doesn't it feel good, even if it tastes like the sea. The meaning is made in its tones and textures, rather than the strength of the connection to the cerebral. Remember this, the tones become the truth, the feeling is made within the fiction, and the tradition is to start singing in soul and hearing from heart rather than hurting in head. And it's a pleasure to swallow that statement, knowing just how big mine has grown. And make it what you will, break it down to its bits and biases, but something still needs to be said. At the end, I am the shore of these shallow statements. Over the chords that woke up my wounds, fresh from ferment, I am delicately decayed, alive and embalmed within these shallow statements. The universe can still unravel within a puddle's reflection. It still holds its infinity in perfect place, down to the last ember of the undying star. The statement preluded to is one of my fondest reflections, that in our eyes meeting, we both hold everything, and now ken each other. That last sacred was a loving breath while my fingers drown between crying kisses. That eternal mirror can make the vast into a voyage, the abstraction into an ache, the artifacts into an artifice, and now the truth gets called into a question. Something one could only see in a darkened space as a timeless tradition. You see, this time is taken and is alchemized into wisdom, then gifted into a present for a future time taker. So as time ticks, be wise with how you choose to use either, as our lungs suffocate on ether when high air has always surrounded at least our soul. This is the making of love at a boiling point, only to see her smile from the inside. And just as my lyrics will line your lips without handmade chords to accompany, it's without direction that we can still see this as some malformed harmony. We are like those who are like Lucifer, not satisfied with the same, if anything born to change fate as a most beautiful paradox that is more than just a painful parable. To not change the game, but rather to make it anew. Puzzling, isn't it? When you don't fit the piece, you are cast out instead of created in. You are called to cause curses rather than blessed to change. Do you hear the siren that truly does sire? How lyrics aren't necessary for Lucifer. They become an added-on artifice, an abstraction of his art, the cherry on top of God's sundae. Can you feel that gold is not in calf, but in what blessed beholder holds as holy? The treasure is in the tones. The loot is the loot. And I really wish there was a better way for a great musician to get his notes across. But maybe word soup is something better felt with teeth rather than thought on upon tongue. It's at times like these that I wish I could get out of my own and allow the pure emotions that ride within me to write on without. But you see, that's the thing about this grand show. Every note is in accordance while improv is allowed, but only to the direct point of the appointed director. You see, you were looking for something. You were seeking God in the glass, but at the end of the rainbow, we still need glasses to see that it's just a pot full of air. So until the next session is like the statement following, only a moment away, I beg of you this, as I breathe from a puddle's reflection, staring into an empty page as full as that metaphorical pot, it would be to find your love before a liked likeness engulfs and begins its own lineage, before a liked likeness takes your truth and transforms your truly treasured tradition into trash. So until tomorrow, I'll be by that same shore, staring into the shallowest of statements. So if you are sure you'll be in the same state, shout out a siren song for us, because it's in the tones of that tune. It's in the pits of that pot. It's in the reflection of every droplet in that rainbow that we tie our truth into tradition And finally, within each other's eyes, hold everything. And now, finally, each other.